What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the channel today. This is Shy Mizrahi back with you guys, and long time no tutorial. That's what I'm going to do for you guys today. I'm going to teach you a cardistry move that I invented, I think. I know there's one move in this set that I didn't make, but I kind of changed it to the way I like it. So this whole routine, this whole cardistry routine is my making, and it is called Oz. So the reason I called it Oz is because what happens is during the flourish you have the house that starts spinning out. If you guys remember the movie The Wizard of Oz, the house starts to spin out of control, then it crosses the barrier to the magical realm and it continues to spin. Then it lands on the witch, and then the witch from the west comes and starts to start problems for the rest of the plot. And that's where the cardistry move leaves off. This cardistry move kind of tells the story of The Wizard of Oz, at least the beginning piece. And that's where I got the inspiration to name this move Oz. I'm really glad of where I came the inspiration with this. It first started out with that first pivot move that you saw at the beginning. That pivot move was really cool, and it's used with two cards to do a color change, but once I started twirling it around with it, it became its own little move. And then once I started making that move, I wanted to incorporate more with that move, and I just started playing around with all these different ideas going around in my head. And nothing else really inspired the other ideas. They were just kind of like happy accidents that I made, and I just backtraced what I did, and this is what I came up with. In other words, it is based off of me fiddling around, and that's why I kind of wanted to add this inspirational section, not to kind of brag or anything what I did, but really to just show you guys that you guys can be so creative, and don't forget to mess up, because that is a big part of this. This process is all about messing up and making happy accidents like I did. That is what makes creators so creative. But don't get me wrong, not all things come from accidents. It also comes from a lot of perseverance and success. So don't forget that as well. There's a good mixture of both in order to make amazing things. And so with these two tips that I just told you about success and failure, I hope that this can help you in some way to not, feel down when you do mess up, but instead to just kind of see what you can get out of that mistake. And of course, the success, do not forget to celebrate your success as well as your failures. So on that note, I will teach you this cardistry move, Oz. Alright guys, so before we get started, I just need to let you know that there are three different sections for this move to be complete. Each one varying in difficulty, kind of getting harder as you get along. But please do not fret. This is not absolutely amazingly difficult. It is maybe intermediate kind of cardistry. And sorry if my voice is a little bit raspy today. I don't know why. I think I was yelling too much. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so like I said, three parts to this move. There is the pivot twirl in your hand with the charlier. There is the breakdance move. I'll tell you guys why I called it that in a minute. The fan, flip, twirl, peel, push section. So without further ado, I will show you guys how to do this flourish. So the first section is the pivot and charlier. That is the first section. And I know this might look a little bit intimidating. It looks like a lot's going on, but really when you break it down, it's really not that much. So don't worry too much, because it's not that bad. So this is the first part. It's the pivot point on your hand, the packet twirl. So here's what you're gonna do. For this packet, you want 5 to 7 cards, no more, no less. It might feel too thick or too thin. You don't want too thin, because if you remember that fan halfway through the flourish, you're going to need a fan to flip over a card in a minute. So get your packet and you're going to hold it in this grip. I'll show you the front and the back so you can follow along. There you go. So if you guys know the color change, like the click change, then this should be a very familiar grip for you. Basically, you're just going to have your middle finger on this corner on the top pip and your thumb on the bottom pip. So to make the twirl, you're going to use your index finger to move it around. As you can see, when I'm moving this card, I'm using my index finger as the moving stick, the rudder stick. So here's what I'm going to do. You have it in this position, so you picked it up off your deck. You can just leave the deck off to the side for now because you don't have to worry about too much at a time. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your packet, and with your index finger on top, you're just going to rotate downward towards you. Once here, what you want to do is you want to curl back, and that way you can hold it like you're showing a card. Again, you're going to get in the grip, pivot towards you, go back, and rotate your hand so you get into this. So once here, you're going to use your index finger again to just rotate that packet towards you once again. And now you have it in the same position as before, at the beginning of the flourish where you had it like this. So here, and then here. So now it's just upside down. And you're just going to continue that movement in a cycle for the rest of the flourish until you finish your Charlier cut. A lot of you, your hand will be still when you're trying this for the first time, and it doesn't look nearly as spontaneous or radical. It doesn't look as crazy and wild like. Oops. So in order to maintain that crazy spin move that you may, like it may appear when I do it, what you're gonna do is a very circular motion, just like this, while you're spinning your packet. So when I do that, it looks a little bit more crazy, more, you know, all over the place. So you're gonna want the rest of your deck back, and what you're gonna do is, while you do this, you're gonna do a Charlier in this cut, and you're gonna leave it open. To leave the Charlier open, you're just going to cut, and instead of just dropping the packet, you're going to actually stop here, let that drop, and you're just going to hold with the top of your thumb over the card. So one more time, just like this, you're just going to hold it with your thumb up here. Do your pivot, and you're going to pass through like this, towards the spectator, and then back through inside the Charlier, and you can close. So one more time, here's what it should look like for now. Now that you're in this position with the cards, what you're going to do is the second section, the breakdown, the breakdance section. So like I said, I'm going to tell you why I called it this. It looks like a little dance floor, and your cards are just breakdancing on the dance floor. Quick rundown. Basically, you're going to have it in mechanics grip, and your middle finger is going to be a pivot point, and your thumb is going to be a pivot point. Don't worry about your index finger or your other bottom two fingers here. You just need these two. So you're going to come right from here, and you're just going to turn your hand over, so you should be in your diagonal position once again. And what you're going to do is with your middle finger and pivot the card packet off of the index finger going to your right hand side. So once you're here, you're going to slide down the finger, and before going back up, you're actually going to get your card stuck onto your middle finger and peel back up. So it pivots onto your thumb. So one more time, you're going to start here, come down, pivot off your middle finger, and then pivot backwards towards the left side. And it should land right onto your thumb naturally, and you're going to pivot off of your thumb. Very quickly, here, down, pivot, pivot, pivot. Okay, this is the hardest part for me to explain. So once you do your 3 pivot points, like this, you are going to grab the card back in your position here, and you're just going to rotate this hand with the deck to match up with your packet, right? So you're here, and you're just going to come around and grab and hold a break with your pinky. Do your 3 pivot points, and then come around with your hand, right? So boom, 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 and then boom. So with this break, you have the perfect opportunity to slide your fingers underneath that break and do a fan. So once you have your small fan, and again, you could be 5 to 7 cards, somewhere around there, and you're going to flip over that card, and you're going to maintain that card on top of your thumb. The reason for this is because you're going to use that fan and put it on top, and you're just going to rotate and peel. Alright, so this is the last section. So you finish the breakdance section where you do your pivoting, and this is the end of that section. So this is the beginning of the new section. You enter your fingers and make your fan, and you're going to throw that card over your thumb, keeping that break, and with the fan, you're just going to lay it down onto the card like this. The bottom card here should be sticking out just a little bit, and your thumb should still be maintaining that break. So the reason is, now you can stick your thumb into that break, your right hand thumb, and you're just going to peel back and put it underneath the left hand thumb. And with this, you can move your right hand upward, twirling over the thumb. And this is going to get a little bit tricky to explain, but you're going to peel up, go over your thumb, and as you can see, my index finger changes from on top of the packet to the bottom of the packet. So now we have this grip here. I'm holding the card like this, where the index finger is on the back of the packet with my thumb. Twirl over, move my index finger to the back, and then remember that spin with your hand motion earlier? You're going to do that again, and when you come back, releasing all your fingers except for your index finger should naturally just give you a break with your index finger on that bottom card that you flipped over beforehand. So let's start that again. Right? So you finish your breakdance section, then you're going to make your fan, flip over a card, keeping a break with your thumb. You're going to do your little rainbow thing where it lands onto the deck. Come in with your thumb on that break, come over, index finger, roll over, and then you're going to maintain that break with your index finger. You're going to peel out that card, and your pinky is going to be helping your break this entire time, right? Your index finger, when it pulls out, the first finger it can contact is actually the ring finger. So with the ring finger and the index finger on your right hand, when you peel that out and turn over, you're going to pivot that upside down card over the ring finger. And with that being said, you can just let the packet drop on the deck as this comes over and just falls. And that is the end of the flourish. So altogether, here's what you should have. You should have the packet spin and the Charlier cut ending you here. Then from here, you can do your 3 pivot spin off your middle finger and your thumb. Then you're going to rotate your hand around to that packet, and you should maintain a break with your pinky. Come through with your fingers, make a fan out of that packet, flip a card upside down, keeping a break with your thumb, your little rainbow fan landing onto that card, then thumb into the break, twirling around the deck thumb, index comes around, keeping another break, and then rotating this upside down card around your ring finger, dropping this packet and just dropping that card. And that is the end of Oz. Alright guys, so that was it. Now for any afterthoughts or tips, I'd say for the pivot piece, you can pivot for as long as you like. You can make it as flashy as you like, you can put it around more. I tend to have it more out here. And so with this flourish, when I do the pivot piece, I don't keep the pivot piece right here next to the deck. Because first, it could be problematic and hit the deck, but also second, because it looks nicer coming out with a bigger motion. So what you can do is start the spin and come here. Please record yourself or use a mirror or something to watch yourself pivot the cards, because it looks a lot nicer. When I first did this Cardistry move, it looked really slow to me, especially when you're practicing this from the back. It really looks lame, and I'm not gonna lie. I was really discouraged with what I came up with at first, but then one day I just did it at my lunch table, and everyone was just like, "Whoa, what was that? What?" And it totally flipped everyone out. And so I was like, "What are you talking about? It looks so bad." And that's when, that day I went home and I looked in the mirror and I did it for myself in the mirror. It looks a lot faster and a lot cooler up front. So don't get discouraged if it looks slow and pretty horrid behind the scenes. That is the end for this flourish. That is the end for the afterthoughts. That is the end for everything, except for the following questions, I should say. First is, did you enjoy this tutorial? If so, please let me know in the comments so I can do more tutorials like this. Second, I really want to start doing more tutorials on this channel, but I want to teach you this move called under pressure. Alright, so you can control the speed on that one. I also want to teach you guys the worm using a deck of cards. I just want to know what you guys think. Should I teach those next? Which one? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you really feel I'm helping you in any sort of way. Okay guys, so please have a wonderful day. I hope that the content that I make and the flourishes that I can create can help you either inspire yourself to do your own cardistry flourishes or to just use what I've created for you. And in either case, I love you guys so much, and I love for all the people who support me. So I will see you guys in the next video, and please don't forget to comment what you would like to see next for the next tutorial. And I'm not afraid to any suggestions, even if it's something I haven't mentioned in this video. So please go on ahead. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.